Let's move on to position number 5, and that's State of Georgia versus Jeffrey Williams. All right, let's see if I can find Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, I believe he's on. I believe he's in cop. Let's see. Second.
He's got his hand raised.
Yes. All right. Mr. Amana, can you unmute? There we go. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, Mr. Adams. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, Mr. Adams. Is it you and Mr. Steele, or is it? I see Mr. Steele over there. So is it you and he that are representing Mr. Williams?
That's true, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Mr. Geary, you rose. Something you want to tell me?
Yes, sir. We filed a conflict notice on Mr. Steele as well.
Okay.
Mr. Steele's represented multiple of these defendants, and we filed a conflict notice on that as well, Judge.
All right. I probably need to hear the motion then. Okay. Mr. Steele, I take it you have not filed a response to that particular motion, you nor your co-counsel, Mr. Adams?
And good morning, sir. That is not accurate. I did file a reply, and it was emailed to Your Honorable Court's co-worker yesterday, as well as the Honorable District Attorney. There are waivers attached to that, and the law mandates that the hearing go forward today. That's under Clause C-L-O-U-G-H versus Rickles, R-I-C-H-E-L-O. It's 274 Georgia Appeal 129. It's a 2005 case, and preliminary matters shall not be affected by a pending motion to disqualify counsel. The prosecution, in their motion to have me disqualified, wrote that there is no actual conflict in their own motion. It's at page 11. So this is all just potential in the future. There is absolutely no reason that I should be. In my opinion, I laid out all of the law for this Honorable Court's review, and their motion should not even have a hearing. If you want to hear it, obviously, I will be here, but we would like to go forward. With that said, I would need a couple minutes. I did not realize that Your Honorable Court had an order that we could not bring in our electronics, so I have my iPad and my electronics outside. So I apologize, but I'm not. I would just need to get those out.
Sure. Okay. I can give you a few minutes to get those together. All right, Mr. Geary, given the fact there are waivers that are attached, does that change the state's position on that, or do you?
No, Your Honor, I was unaware that there's no actual in there, and I take counsel's word for that. I believe there actually is an actual conflict. One of the other defendants listed, I believe it's, correct me, Mr. Arnold, the police officer indicated in the report, and I have spoken to the police officer since, as of just last week, is Mr. Steele called the officer and admitted that Mr. Arnold did in fact commit the offense. Now I know I've spoken with Mr. Steele and he said that never happened. All I know is I wasn't there. The officer said it did, and it's in the report, and Mr. Steele said it didn't. I believe that rises to a level, and that was confirmed, Judge, after our motion was filed. But I believe that would rise to the level of an actual conflict. I would say as a compromise, given until we settle that, given they've got two counsel here, or no objection if Mr. Adams went forward right now, and I think that would be a resolution that we could try to move forward on this.
Okay. Is that acceptable, Mr. Steele?
I appreciate the Honorable District Attorney, but that's not acceptable.
Okay,
And
then I'm
in-
going to have to take it off and put it on for a
But
count.
Can I,
put it on?
may I
Okay.
just finish? I know you're
Yeah.
busy, but may I just
Okay.
educate the court? And I know it's not the district attorney's office doing, but there is a line in a witness statement when somebody originally gets arrested. In the complaint room, there's a witness statement, and it does not exactly say that I made a confession on behalf of Mr. Arnold. In fact, I will tell the court I have never, ever made a confession on behalf of.
But I need to hear that, Mr. Steele. I don't have any issue with either the the disqualification, but I got to hear it.
May I
Today's not the day.
May I just finish and tell you this?
Okay.
When you look at the prosecution attached one page, so I got the entire file. It's on your Odyssey. And when you look at the reports, there is nothing about a confession. That is a total, and I'm not saying the police officer did it on purpose, that's a total misstatement. In fact, it alleges in the reports exactly what I did. I received a call to find out whether there's a warrant for Mr. Arnold. I went to the police department. They would not, in those days, it was 2014, email it to me. I found there was a warrant, and I told Mr. Arnold, and he turned himself in. That's in the reports that the prosecution did not make mention of. I am not on the state's witness list when this case was brought and indicted against Mr. Arnold. And I could never be a material witness because Mr. Arnold pled guilty. So you have to be a material witness. It has to be on an issue that's in controversy. A guilty plea is the confession of the person. With all that being said, I never represented Mr. Arnold. I did a courtesy to the police and Mr. Arnold. There is no confession, and this is specious reason to do it. And it's all in public record, Your Honor. I never was paid a nickel. I don't have an open file on Mr. Arnold. I never defended him. I did a favor when I was asked whether there was an arrest warrant for Mr. Arnold because he wanted to be lawful and turned himself in. So I'd like to go forward.
Okay. All right. I still need to hear it. I think in terms of just the motion and the response to it, and since it wasn't calendared for today, I mean, the only thing I have is arraignment and bond. So I don't mind a short turnaround for me to be able to do that, but I need to resolve that issue first.
Can I ask you a question? I'll step back.
Sure.
'Cause I have to get my computer anyway.
Yeah, you
When
can,
would the
yeah.
short turnaround be? Can you just give us an idea?
I'll have to check with Mr. Chamberlain. Mr. Chamberlain, we'll work on that. It'll probably more than likely be via Zoom. I'll need to, maybe by the time I'm finished with everyone, I should be able to let you know something.
Then can we just step back until that time?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I'm going to hold on position number 5, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I want to circle back up to the beginning of the calendar. Okay, Mr. Steele and Mr. Adams, we taken a look at our calendar, and with Mr. Chamberlain's assistance, I'll go ahead and set your matter on the disqualification for 2 June. That's the soonest that I have via Zoom, and we can take up that at that morning along with your issue of bond at that point in time, should it be appropriate, depending on how I rule. Okay. Did I address you, Mr. Sharp? Did I tell Mr. Sharp get up? Okay. Just give me a second. Being eager. Okay, I'll just a sec. All right. But does that work for you, sir?
Yes, do you know what time?
It'll be 9 o'clock via Zoom. Now, Mr. Sharp,
Yes, sir.
for your client as well, I will set that, Mr. Stillwell, on your conflict motion, same date,
Thank you.
on the 2nd of June at 9 a.m. Okay, and I think that those were the 2 that we had for conflicts. And gentlemen, I appreciate your patience. That is the soonest that I have that I can give you, but I can give you the opportunity to be heard on that particular, on those 2 particular issues at that time. Okay, what else was I gonna do? Let's see. Mr. Williams, let's see who Mr. Williams, what position, let's see. I say again? Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay. All right, Mr. Williams, your lawyer is going to talk with you offline in a minute. Mr. Steele, unfortunately, this is what I said. I couldn't allow you to kind of do this because of just the scheduling and schematic of us being able to do this. Because I do need to get the other folks from that other person at least brought out. Okay.
Of course.
Okay. All right. Unless you have anything else, I'll see you and your colleague on the 2nd of June then, okay, at 9 o'clock?
I just wanted to, earlier, Your Honor, the court said that you would potentially hear bond today
No.
or put it off.
I'm going to put off both those until the 2nd of June.
Okay.
I need to resolve the issue of your, of the conflict first, since both of you are not agreeable to that particular arrangement, so I'm having your colleague hear the bond, so I think the state's objecting to that as well, so I need to hear the predicate and rule on that issue to begin with, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, all right.
Good morning, Your Honor. Spanish interpreter is present.
Madam, I can...
The reefer burn and the music play. The music play. The music play. Hey, I swear I might not go outside today. Hey, I call my plug and I call the A. The reefer burn as the music play. The music play. Hey, it feel good to have a peaceful day. Hey, it feel good to have a peaceful day. Hey,